Welcome to 2 cents short of a dollar, the show where we give our 2 cents and keep it 100. We're your hosts. That's Motiz. I'm Rue. Today, what I want to talk about is your boy Canelo Alvarez coming off of a victory versus Edgar Berlanga. Canelo defeats Edgar Berlanga, unanimous decision, and I have to say I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Berlanga did way better than I thought he would do. He was way more game than I thought he was. I think previously I mentioned I didn't think he was going to get in there and kind of like lay down like Jermell Charlo, but I definitely thought the experience would be the major factor, and I thought Canelo would get him out of there. Then Canelo drops him in the third round. I'm like, oh, it's happening. Canelo's about to get him out of there. But Berlanga kind of just, punches his gloves together, says I'm good, and fights. And I mean, he fought a tough fight. You know what I mean? So just what was your reaction to the fight? And, after you tell me your reaction, I want to know, do you think Berlanga was just game, or do you think Canelo's losing a step?
So my initial reaction, I was surprised, like most, in terms of, Berlanga's sheer grit and his attitude. I did like his approach going into this fight. I felt like he gave Canelo like no respect. He was willing to even kind of get dirty with him at times, and you could see they both was like Canelo was hitting him in his thighs. Berlanga kind of like headbutt him at one point. Like it was really going at it. It was that part was low key entertaining to a degree. Berlanga wasn't really, of course, he was getting beat almost every single round. It was like a whitewash to me, to be honest. It wasn't even close. But he was there. He was game. He was there. He stood with Canelo at times trying to exchange. And it was crazy to me that his defense had gotten better as the fight progressed. He was eating punches, eating jabs, but then he started moving his head like in that 11th, 12th round, and he was really like egging Canelo on, like, let's go, answer the second question. I think it's more so Canelo losing a bit of himself than it is Berlanga's actual boxing ability, because I felt like if it was Canelo that fought, Billy Joe Saunders, even Caleb Plant, I think he would have stopped Berlanga for sure once he would have smelled blood. So
So what I like what you said. I like that Berlanga didn't really show respect. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm in there with Canelo, I can't do anything. And one big indication of that is one time like the round wasn't over and Canelo started walking away and Berlanga leaped in and cracked him. Like stay on your P's and Q's, you know what I'm saying? So I really appreciated that. But I thought he had a good showing. I'm gonna actually go the other direction. I think if Canelo could have stopped him, he would have. But I think Canelo thought he had someone who was gonna lay down. And I think when Berlanga didn't lay down, I think it shocked Canelo. Now, granted, Canelo was winning mostly every round, like you said. But like you said, Berlanga was getting better as the fight was going on. And he was landing some stuff. He was getting a little harder to hit in there. And I think Canelo realized, like, man, nah, this guy ain't coming to lay down. So he was kind of like pacing himself. I don't think Canelo ever thought he was going to be in danger. But I thought as Berlanga was getting stronger as the fight was going on, Canelo was like, all right, I can't have one of those gas out moments and let this dude start getting off on me. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't think Canelo ever saw like, yeah, he's going to stop me. But like, for example, in like the John Ryder fight, when Canelo kind of gassed out late and Ryder kind of, did his thing, I think Berlanga was a bigger punching threat, So I think it was like, all right, I can't let that happen to me again. So I got to kind of stay poised. So I think he didn't really have that next gear. He probably had that next gear, but I think for fear of what had happened to him in the past, he didn't really kick it into that next gear. So I think Berlanga's ability actually surprised him and made him respect Berlanga a little more.
Gotcha. Just to ask a follow-up, I guess, with that second gear that you mentioned, do you think that second gear is just due to like sheer wear and tear with him, like or is just more so Berlanga's just ability, like as a boxer?
What, when you say second tier, you mean like Canelo going into the second tier, or just mean Berlanga?
Canelo going to second gear, like his inability to go there or want to go there.
Yeah.
Do you think that's more on Canelo? Like, okay, he's probably just wear and tear, old age, or getting older, or do you think it's just Berlanga's ability to not allow him to do that?
Nah, so I don't necessarily think Berlanga didn't allow. I think it was a little psychological more than like physical wear and tear. I think it was a little psychological. I think Canelo felt the pressure rising from Berlanga. Like I said, he was never really in trouble, but he was in there just like we watched. Like, okay, this dude's getting strong. He's doing better. And I think, like I said, psychologically, I think Canelo knows that he's gassed out several times in the past, and he was like, all right, I can't let myself do this. I'm not gonna lie. Berlanga looked huge in there, and I think he admitted that he was like 193 pounds or something when he rehydrated. So I think just everything, the combination of the size. I know Canelo said, I know he was joking on, I think he said he hits like his son or something, but I think not that he respected the power, but I don't think he was a pity pat puncher, you know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
think he kept Canelo honest. And
Okay.
Canelo psychologically was like, nah, I can't have one of those gas out moments again.
Okay.
Because like I said, dude started coming, started taking the punches better, kept coming towards you, you know what I'm saying? So the last thing you want is and I mean they're not going to do that to Canelo, but the last thing you want is like one of those Rolly Romero, Ismael Barroso stoppages where it's like this guy gets going a bit, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to do that to Canelo, but I'm just like, he just didn't want to give any opportunity for something like that to happen.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. But now, and I gotta ask you this question. What do you think Canelo rehydrates to?
Fight at 168, probably like 180.
180?
Probably like 180, 185, maybe.
Yeah, I'm
Max
closer to
185. Max 185. I'll say 180.
I'm closer to 185. I'm closer to 185. I think that's where he rehydrates to. So I mean, that is a difference. Berlanga coming in slightly over 193 pounds, but Canelo's not complaining about that. And you know where I'm going with this. We've heard him complain about David Benavidez's rehydration. So why is it acceptable for Edgar Berlanga to rehydrate? How much pounds is that from 68 to 93? What is that? 25 pounds?
Yeah, just roughly about, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
why is it acceptable for Berlanga to rehydrate 25 pounds, but not David Benavidez? You know what I'm saying? Like
We know why. We know why. We know exactly why. Your man Canelo, he's a runner, he's a track star. But
Yo, I think that's wrong, man. I think that's wrong because, like, Canelo's a Hall of Famer, right? But it's like, bro, you keep giving people less and less ways to deny what's happening here. Like,
yeah.
it's becoming more and more obvious, right? And you said Benavidez brought nothing to the table but 20 extra pounds. But like I said, in my opinion, I thought Berlanga was a prospect, and I think he handled this moment great, and I think his stock's gonna go up after this loss. You know what I mean? I think I mentioned this once before, but I would actually love to see him and David Morrell. I think that'd be a good fight. But I'm just saying, I think that's whack, man. That it's like, all right, it's cool if Berlanga do this, but David Benavidez can't do it. This is a two-time champion. No one's ever taken the belt off of him. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he rehydrates, but in that, I think in the Andrade fight, they said that Benavidez was around maybe like 190, but they said I think Andrade rehydrated to about a similar weight because he was concerned about Benavidez's rehydration.
Oh, yeah.
They were a similar weight in there, and some people were saying that slow down Demetrius, but it's just like, I don't know, bro. I really, really think Canelo rehydrates to 185. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at him, pause, like just his body, his stature. Bro, that's a stocky guy, man. That's not a slim guy, like for real.
But also, we got to factor into his height too, right?
Yeah.
Like 190 versus a taller fighter versus a shorter fighter will look much different. So, but I agree though. We both, I definitely agree with you. 185 is definitely plausible. I would see that. I don't see him like being above 185, but 155 for sure. I can definitely see. I can see that.
But I'm just saying, it's really not the weight. The weight really isn't the issue, Canelo, right? Because you let Berlanga do it. So David Benavidez rehydration really isn't the issue. So I would just honestly, you just to keep it 100 with the fans and come out and tell us what it really is, bro. Like, tell us what it really is. If it's not the weight, right? You said he brings nothing to the table. You fought other people who brought nothing to the table. So just tell us what it is. Like, come out and be honest. Like, why won't you fight David Benavidez?
Yeah, he just need to have a press conference and just finally admit, hello, guys, I am a duck. Okay. I use the phrase payday to,
Yeah,
now he's
yeah,
come on. Canelo, legend, but he's definitely ducking Benavidez. No question. He's just afraid to fight him. He's probably not scared of him as a man, but in terms of the boxing ring, I think he understands and he realized what David Benavidez is capable of and what Benavidez would probably do to him,
yeah.
So
And it's crazy because I know Canelo saying he wants the Bivol rematch, but apparently Bivol said, I haven't seen this. Bivol said this, it was like just a report saying he still will not fight Canelo at 175 again. It has to be at 168. I think Bivol is trying to do away with that whole it's a weight thing issue, right? But that's still assuming Bivol gets past Beterbiev, right? Or does he just wants to fight Bivol? Because I find it hard pressed to believe if Beterbiev wins that fight, Canelo's going to ask for Beterbiev.
yeah, absolutely not. He won't.
You
We know
know,
that. Especially
so
given Canelo's past actions and how he's moving at certain times with dangerous fighters. Yeah. At this age,
yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah, so I mean, let's see what Canelo's next move is because I feel like there is no other fight to be made at 168 but him versus Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? There's
Mhm.
really nobody else that I want to see him fight. And the 175 pounders are about to fight each other. And yes, right now Bevo's actually the favorite in Vegas, right? So he could come out victorious, but if he loses, are you going to ask for Beterbiev? So let's see what Canelo's next move is. He really does call the shots. So hopefully Benavidez gets a chance, but I don't think it looks likely right now.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
But make sure you guys jump in the comment section and tell us why Canelo won't fight David Benavidez. If Berlanga was able to rehydrate that way, why can't David Benavidez rehydrate? Why don't you just make a rehydration clause and fight David Benavidez? You know what I mean? He wants that fight, and just like everybody else who wants the payday, I think he'll accept the rehydration clause to take that fight if the weight is the issue. But it's still left to be seen.